The Recovery Loan Scheme launches. Could it help you get back on the path to growth? Businesses borrowed a record amount in 2020, but now it's payback time. And Metrobank helps its clients manage cash flow better by launching a new invoicing tool. All of this in the latest Business Finance Bulletin. Well, finally, the Recovery Loan Scheme has been launched. Yet on the 6th of April, lenders opened the doors to applications under this new Recovery Loan Scheme. This scheme, of course, is a replacement for CBILS and bounce back loans, which closed for applications on the 31st of March. So will this new scheme allow you to get back on the path to growth? Well, let's take a look at what the scheme entails. So first of all, if you're looking to borrow via an overdraft facility or a loan, the starting application amount is £25,001 up to a maximum amount of £10 million. If you're looking for finance via asset finance or invoice finance, the starting amount is as low as £1,000, again up to a maximum of £10 million. How long can you borrow for? Well, via an overdraft and an invoice finance facility, you can have that over 3 years. For loans and asset finance, the maximum term is 6 years, so a good lengthy term in which to manage your monthly repayments. So what can you use the money for? Well, interestingly, the scheme now says you are eligible to apply if you've been impacted by COVID. Now, it doesn't say negatively impacted by COVID. So the implication is, of course, that if you're one of those businesses that has grown during the pandemic, we've seen a surge in sales, you may need additional working capital, buy new machinery and plant and equipment. That means you'll be eligible under the scheme. So it's a much more positive, forward-looking scheme, other than like CBILS and bounce back, which is very much about survival money. The new scheme is about growth money. So in terms of the interest rate, that's still now being capped at 14.99%, including all of the fees that the lenders will be charging. So at least there is an upper cap. But lenders, of course, will be free to set their own interest rates. Now, in terms of repayments, unlike CBILS and bounce back loans, you have to start paying from day one. In fact, your first payment will come 1 month after you've drawn down the loan. So you have no moratorium here, and you're responsible for all of the costs on day one. So a good scheme. It only lasts though until the 31st of December. So you really need to be very focused and get your applications in. At the moment, as I record this, there are only 18 lenders who have been accredited by the British Business Bank. I know there are other lenders in the pipeline looking to apply, and this only compares to over 100 lenders across the CBILS and bounce back scheme. So there's probably not going to be as much appetite amongst lenders to support this scheme, but still there will be a good variety of lenders for you to choose from. If you want to know more about this scheme and how it can work for you, always happy to have a chat. Just drop us an email, info@businessloanservices.co.uk. On many occasions over the last 12 months, I've highlighted the fact that businesses have had an insatiable appetite to borrow money. It's not surprising given what's going on, where businesses just need funds to keep going or to plug cash flow gaps. Well, this demand for finance has been highlighted in a new report from UK Finance. UK Finance is like a trade body for all of the UK lenders. And it's reported in its latest business finance review that in 2020, lenders said that they lent new money out the door totaling £63.6 billion, just under £64 billion of new finance arrangements. Now, that's a staggering figure on its own. However, compare that to the new loans that they issued in 2019 during a normal year. Well, the increase in 2020 was 162% on the previous year. Yeah, 162% jump in new financial arrangements. So it just shows the level of debt that businesses have now taken on. And in fact, the report highlights that a quarter of business owners are now saying they're beginning to panic a little bit, because these repayments are obviously going to be starting now during April, May and June for the majority of businesses. So they've realized now the level of debt that they've taken on, which has to be paid back. Now, this new debt that's been taken on, and not only is it new money, but it's also diverted it from other financial products as well. The Finance and Leasing Association, for example, have just released figures to the end of February 2021, which shows that demand for asset finance, being leasing and HP, volumes fell in the 12 months to February 2020 by 24% compared to the previous year in February 2020. So it just shows a combination of two things. The demand for asset finance generally has fallen because businesses just weren't investing, but also there's an element of the fact that they had CBILS and bounce back money and so didn't need to access asset finance facilities. So you can see there's a lot of problems now going to be facing businesses during this year. As I've mentioned in the previous segment, we've got the recovery loan scheme, which may help plug further gaps. But of course, we've now got this huge lump of debt which needs to be paid back. Over the last few years, we've seen a rapid increase in the number of businesses that are using a large variety of online accounting software packages, all designed to make accounting that much easier. Well, naturally, there are very small businesses out there who perhaps don't want to get tied up into a monthly subscription or really just don't do large volumes to justify the cost of these packages. Well, Metro Bank has recognised that, and it has now announced that it's launching an invoicing tool to sit alongside their mobile banking app. So if you've got an account with Metro Bank and you just say don't do large volumes, you can now create an invoice within your mobile banking app. You can create an invoice, assign it to a particular customer, assign it in terms of one of your particular products or services, and also even brand it up with your logo. So you can then issue the invoice direct via the app. The customer receives it, they pay you back into your Metro Bank account, and then you can reconcile your invoice versus what you've had paid back in. It'll allow you then to keep track of your cash flow and, more importantly, chase those people who haven't paid. So it's a great idea for Metro Bank for those smaller businesses, say, who don't want the all singing, all dancing accounting software packages. So if you want to know more about that, you can find out more from the Metro Bank website, which is metrobankonline.co.uk/business. A great innovative idea for Metro Bank. Well, that's it for another bulletin. As ever, I hope you enjoyed watching and listening to it. And if you did, please don't forget to give it a like, a share, and subscribe to this channel. So thanks very much. I look forward to being with you again next time. In the meantime, have a great, successful, and profitable week.